I started my mobile detailing business with just $500 and turned it into a $200,000 a year machine. And in this video, I'm going to show you every single step, the exact equipment I used, my marketing strategy that exploded my client base, the pricing strategy that maximized my profits, and how I did it all without spending a dime on ads. But here's the kicker. If you want to learn how I land 15 to 30 new leads every single day while I'm sleeping, stick around to the end of the video. I'm going to break it all down for you. But first, before we get into it, there are 3 things you need before starting any business, because the difference between struggling and actually making money comes down to having the right tools from day one. First, you really need a way to manage everything in one place: quotes, invoices, customer follow-ups, without having to worry about juggling spreadsheets or even forgetting to send invoices. And for that, I recommend QuoteIQ. It's designed to handle everything you need to stay organized, professional, so that you can focus on making money, not on paperwork. It's the best business management software for the home service industry, trust me. Second, you need leads, because without customers, you don't have a business. A lot of people get stuck because they don't know how to find clients, but the truth is that you don't have to figure it all out on your own. That's why I suggest using a lead generator, because it brings potential customers straight to you, so you're never looking around scrambling for work. And finally, you need insurance. It's one of those things that people don't think about until something goes horribly wrong, but by then it's too late. So listen to me, whether you're offering a service or selling products, having the right coverage protects you from financial risks. I've linked a resource for insurance quotes down in the comment section and description, along with the best home service business software and the lead generator. Once you have these 3 essentials in place, you're not just starting a hustle, you're setting up a real business that can actually grow and make you money. Let's get into kind of how I started and the benefits of the fact that it has a very low barrier to entry. When I first got into detailing, I didn't have thousands of dollars to drop on equipment. In fact, I started with less than $500. That's what's so powerful about mobile detailing. The barrier to entry is incredibly low, and with just a few essential tools, some good products, you can be up and running in no time. That, coupled with a little bit of strong marketing, you really have a business in the making. Let's get into the essential equipment, stuff that you're really going to need to get into this. We'll go from the bare bones setup all the way until the approved upgraded setup. So for bare bones, if you're just getting started and you want to keep costs as low as possible, here's the absolute minimum that you need. Buckets, you're going to need 2 to 3, 1 for washing, 1 for rinsing. Microfiber towels, you need a bunch of these. Seriously, do not skimp out here. You will need a ton of microfiber towels. A wash mitt, a good quality wash mitt for like scratch-free cleaning of the exterior of the vehicle. All-purpose cleaner, something that can tackle interiors and stubborn stains. Glass cleaner, streak-free is the name of the game. You don't want your customers to see your mistakes. Vacuum, you can start with a household vacuum, but a shop vac is way better, way more portable, way easier to use. Brushes, you need a set of detailing brushes for vents, seams, and tough spots. Honestly, you can go along the doors using soap and water with those brushes as well. Now let's get into your upgrading setup. After you've already, found your way into mobile detailing, got started out with this low amount, but you're starting to make money, you can upgrade. So once you started making some money, it's smart to reinvest in better equipment. That way you can speed up your jobs and increase your quality. So you might need a Greenworks 1700 PSI portable pressure washer. It's reliable, powerful, and compact, which is another big deal. Rigid 4G shop vac. This thing is a workhorse. You will be able to pick up anything in a vehicle you want. Foam cannon makes washing faster and way more effective. The steam cleaner, perfect for deep cleaning, upholstery, and carpets. You're going to need an extractor as well. This is going to be helpful for heavy stains and deep cleaning on the seats and mats. Kind of the target that a lot of customers look for in their detailing results, to be like, okay, cool. Like, are the seats looking good? Are the mats looking good? All that. I would say eventually you might even need a generator. If you want to be truly mobile and not rely on your client's power, it's something that could add that for you. A water tank, a 50 to 100 gallon water tank, lets you work anywhere, anytime. Now, that being said, you could always use the customer's water and power if it is available to you, but this is something about upgrading and not really needing your customers after a while, so it opens up a lot of jobs for you. As well as a spotless water system, it's going to prevent water spots and reduces drying time by 10x and makes it way less difficult, and the labor is way lower. By building up your equipment as you grow, you can handle more jobs, finish quicker, and take on bigger clients like fleet vehicles and dealerships, because trust me, after you get really good, after the word of mouth starts to grow and your marketing does, people like that are going to find you. Let's get into the power of professional products. Here's the thing, consumer grade products don't just cut it. I learned this the hard way after seeing streaks, half-done jobs, and that's what I had to redo. That's when I switched over to professional grade detailing products. Brands like DIY Detail are game changers. Not only do they deliver better results, but they also save you time, which means that you can take on more jobs and make more money. Now, places like AutoZone and big box retailers are loaded with products that seem like a good buy, but here's the truth. A lot of them are designed to catch your eyes, not actually deliver results. They mark up the prices on subpar products, and you end up paying more for less. When I started researching what high-end detailers were actually using, I realized that the products that they trusted weren't even on the shelves of these big stores. You got to do your research, look at what the pros are using, not just what's the most advertised, because when you get your hands on the right products, your work quality shows and it brings in actual real money. Trust me, they're trying to sell you the stuff that they just want to get rid of, not the stuff that's good and going to be the highest quality and highest efficiency for your business. Let's get into service packages and pricing strategies. When it came to pricing, I kept it simple. I noticed that a lot of detailers overwhelm their customers with too many options, so I like to stick to 3 main packages. Number 1, basic wash, exterior hand wash, tire shine, quick vacuum, $50 to $75. Also, all these prices can be bumped up or bumped down. Interior detail, deep clean for seats, carpets, and dashboard, $100 to $150. Number 3, the full detail, everything inside and out plus wax and polish, $200 to $300. Once again, bump up as need be. Situational pricing. Now, trust me, there's always going to be times when you roll up in a car that looks like it's been through a war zone. For cars with heavy dog hair, deep stains, or excessive dirt, I like to add a surcharge. So here's how I break it down. Dog hair removal, $20 to $50 plus depending on severity. And some you're going to get to that are just overwhelmingly ridiculous. Mud and excessive dirt, $25 to $50. Pet odor treatment, $40 plus. Deep stain removal, $20 plus per seat or mat, however it works out to be. Trust me, this is going to benefit you in the long term. You don't want to be losing money for doing more labor. Now let's get into email automation. One thing that changed the game for me was QuoteIQ's email automation feature. I set up triggers to automatically remind customers after a few months that it's time for another service. Not only does this keep you fresh in their mind, but it also sparks conversations like, hey, my sister was just saying she needed her car detailed. Can you do hers too? This really gives you a big advantage. You're not just reminding them. You're opening up the door to repeat business and referrals. Staying top of mind or fresh on the people's mind is going to be the only reason that people choose you over other people. It's just that social credibility. They remember the quality you provided, the service you provided, and the nice price you did. Now let's get into how I did the marketing. So the Facebook group advantage. Now this is kind of where the magic happens, digital marketing, but it's not the typical stuff. Sure, I built a clean website, ran Google ads, but the real game changer for me was Facebook groups. I would join local community groups, those whole buy, sell, or trade, or neighborhood news even groups. I'd post about my detailing groups, maybe throw up a before and after photo, and offer a first-time customer discount. What happened next though blew me away. It was honestly ridiculous. One customer would turn into 5 or 10, not just from them coming back, but because they would tell their friends and family. I even created a full series of in-depth tutorials that break down exactly how I structured these posts, took before and after photos, and even the marketing scripts I used to close these deals. I show you how I made $20,000 plus without spending a single dollar on ads, and you can access all of that through the link in the description down below. And it turns out to be pretty ridiculous when you're cleaning their mom's car, their dad's car, their cousin's car, their brother's car, the mother's car. You are making insane money, and it just keeps on stacking on. More people are trusting you, and you're getting more pictures and more reviews. Let's get into insurance and protecting your business. One thing that often gets overlooked in mobile detailing is insurance. You're working on people's cars. Sometimes luxury vehicles worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Trust me, you might not think you'll find them, but you will. The last thing you want is a scratch or even an accident costing your business way too much money to even recover, way too much money to keep the business worth it. I learned this the hard way. One of my first detailing jobs was a big job on a client's car, and I was using my pressure washer just like I had on dozens of cars before this, but this time the paint started peeling off the car. I didn't know it at the time, but the car had been very poorly repainted, and the high pressure exposed plenty of the flaws that were available. Here's the thing, because I didn't have general liability insurance, I had to come out of pocket to cover the whole paint job. It cost me more than I would have made from that entire job, and it could have easily been avoided. The experience alone made me realize that insurance isn't optional, it's absolutely necessary. There's too many situations that could go wrong, too many reasons that you could need to be protected. So here's what you need to consider. General liability insurance covers damage to the client's property or their car while you're working. Garage keeper's insurance, if you store vehicles or work on them at your own property, this is something you might want to consider. Commercial auto insurance. If you have a dedicated work van or truck for your detailing equipment, not only does it protect you, but it also is going to add you some credibility. So whenever you tell customers you're fully insured, it builds trust and sets you apart from the guy with a bucket and a sponge. You're a professional and you're covered if anything goes wrong. Trust me, peace of mind to a customer is almost more important than price is, because knowing that they have nothing to worry about, you're not going to damage anything and not be able to pay for it, is something that would give them wonders and say, you know what, this guy's going to be okay. I can trust him out there with my vehicle and it's going to be good. Let's get to the benefit of the high-end networking you do just from finding so many people and being able to detail cars. Those small connections from Facebook groups and local clients can turn into high-end opportunities. That led to private contracts with dealerships, not as an employee, but independently. One contract alone brought me in $2,000 to $3,000 a month, and when I landed a fleet truck contract, that turned into $5,000 to $6,000 a month with just a few days of work. And I again say it, you wouldn't believe that you would be able to find something like this, or that you would be blessed with an opportunity like that, but they come all the time. There's so many people that need detailing done, and out there's not a lot of people that are doing it correctly. Not a lot of people that are running their marketing strongly, that are running their efficiency, knowing how long things are taking them, tracking their time, being very aware of sending out the automation, the email automation, letting their customers know that, hey, I'm still here. I still offer the same level of service, and I'm still able to detail your car better than this guy over here. Maybe he's got better prices. At the end of the day, as long as you stay front of mind more often than other people, as long as you work more efficiently and people can trust you more than other people, you have all the leeway, you have all of the respect from these customers, and you have priority, which is the benefit whenever somebody can bring you over 5, 10, 15 customers, because they're all family and friends, but they trust you because that one person that you service said, man, I don't know, this guy over here, he's just that good. This detailing business, Rogers Detailing Business, he is just next level. But that all being said, if you've been waiting to start the perfect side hustle to change your life, this is it. I'm living proof that $500 in the right game plan can turn into $200,000 a year. Now it's your turn. Check the description to get access to my complete blueprint and start building your own six-figure detailing business today. When I tell you that it is one of the services that are not being heavily enough just depended on and crushed and like having that market gap closed, this is something that people need to be looking into. There's so many people with vehicles. So many people do not want to clean their own vehicles. So many people, and you would think that the industry doesn't actually work because you're like, man, I could just go to a car wash over here for $10. That is not just a $10 charge and you're done with it. This is going to be a $10 consistent charge. And after somebody's gone through the whole day of work, they've gone through their whole life, they have things that they don't want to do. I can tell you, as someone who doesn't even want to detail their own car, and I'm a detailer, it's something that people are not going to want to do, and they want to rely on somebody that they can pay to just go and do it. How many maid services are out there whenever it's so easy for me to take, 10, 15 minutes and clean my whole house, right? But at the end of the day, houses get bigger, you get busier, you have more things to do. You don't want to do more things. You don't want to occupy your mind and have to worry about them. So at the end of the day, mobile detailing is a service that I would highly recommend to anybody, a lot of above most other services.